All right, so we wanted to get to this point. All this has been for education and for waking people up, but the FISA was the beginning of this. Um, there's got to be some more information come out on the FISA. We're not quite there yet, but I think this FISA report is going to start to really explode and open this stuff. And I'm hoping the FISA report will begin to be fully exposed here before the general elections, national elections in November of this coming year. We will see. Time will tell. But no one should be above the law, and this is all about getting the legal people in place, the lawyers, circuit judges, Supreme Court, and other courts in place so they can start doing these trials and it can be done according to the Constitution and the law of the land. And again, no one should be above the laws of the land or above the Constitution. And this is where we need to get. It's just a matter of time of getting there.
So everyone is going to be held accountable. Post 3741. It says, why are the two, and the two is in brackets and bold, articles being held by Pelosi? Pelosi wants to change the arena. The articles of impeachment show no crime. Since there is no crime, and McConnell said he will dismiss.
Again, why are the articles of impeachment being held? She wants to change the consequences. She wants to change the arena and the power structure and do things unconstitutional. Again, this is going to come back and bite her and the Dems in the butt. You wait and see.
Pelosi and others are trying to change the landscape. This is not about a fair trial. This is about making it unfair as possible. Pelosi needs to flip some Republicans, and you need one of the three cases, the taxes, the grand jury, or Don McGahn and his testimony. We discussed this previously. The testimony will not help their case. They believe it will, but it won't. Will they get it? Most likely not. Under this, Q says, will holding actually impact the decision of the Senate? No. Will holding actually provide a better scenario? Brackets, bold, public opinion, 2 Ds? No. Will holding actually sway select senators to change their vote? No. When blackmail and threats no longer work. Why are the two articles being held by Pelosi? What happens when the articles of impeachment are sent from the House to the Senate? Can the Senate conduct other business during this time? During this time, no, they'll be very busy with the impeachment. What value?
So again, think about this. When they do get this sent over, when these things do fail, and when the Senate has to put their full emphasis into the impeachment, there will be very little other business being done.
Might exist by holding the articles. Well, we discussed them just before. To try to flip some senators, to try to get the information they need, to have some type of crime, and to delay. How long do Senate impeachment trials normally take? Well, when we looked at it before, they can take anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks in that time period. What statements have been made are e-timing. Think fast tracking. What statements have been made by Chairman Graham, RE Senate FISA hearings, and witnesses? He would like to call witnesses in, expose the operation to the public. The Senate is the public investigation. The Senate is educating the public. Durham, Huber, Barr, this is the private investigation. The Senate will be used to educate the people. Durham, Huber, Barr, they will bring justice.
So think about this. The Senate will be to help educate the public, but Huber, Durham, Barr, and other individuals will bring justice after things start to open up and subpoenas fly and the courts start to take a hold of evidence and start to sentence these individuals for their crimes. This is all going to happen in different stages, in different times.
Why is Pelosi holding 2 articles of impeachment? This is all caps. To delay the Senate from proceeding. To delay the Senate from exposing their corruption. Q. Trump tweeted out the following. Pelosi gives us the most unfair trial in the history of U.S. Congress. And now she is crying for fairness in the Senate and breaking all rules while doing so. She lost Congress once, she'll do it again. Rudy Giuliani tweeted out the following: do the American people need any more proof that this impeachment is a travesty to our nation? Make up non-wrongdoing charges, rush it through, and now delay? They think we're stupid. This only stops with voting Pelosi and her Ds out of office. Otherwise, she will do it again. Rudy Giuliani continued.
Now think about that. It only stops with getting her out of office, and he says she'll do it again. She's a very immoral and corrupt individual.
Ask yourself, if Dems are so hell-bent on protecting a republic from Trump, then why have they left for Christmas break without sending the articles of impeachment over to the Senate for his removal? Truth, this is an unconstitutional impeachment sham with zero evidence. Now,
Now that's from Rudy Giuliani. Truth is, this is an unconstitutional impeachment sham with zero evidence. It's nothing more than a power play.
Pelosi, she tweeted out, and she kind of led on to why she is doing this. And she tweeted, the House cannot choose our impeachment managers until we know what sort of trial the Senate will conduct. She needs to understand who is going to be with them, how many people they can blackmail, how many people they can convince to vote their way. She just led on right there and then. She continued, President Trump blocked his own witness and documents from the House and from the American people on phony complaints about the House process. What is his excuse now? Actually, he didn't block anything. You held secret hearings in a basement. Trump was not allowed to defend himself. Remember, he's innocent until proven guilty. And so far, you've had no witnesses that showed that he was guilty of any type of crime.
This abuse of power, I believe, is going to finally end Pelosi's political career. We'll have to see and find out when the elections come if she'll actually be voted out of office or be impeached herself. I don't know what it will take. If it gets tough enough in the Democratic Party, they'll get rid of her.
Bribery, quid pro quo, extortion. There were two individuals on the phone, a president from Ukraine, a president from the United States. Both said there was nothing wrong. The two people that listened in on the call said there was nothing wrong. All the other people don't count because they're hearsay. They weren't on the call. It's like bringing someone off the street and saying, what do you think? They're meaningless. They don't count. They have no evidence. Now, Mark Levin and Alan Dershowitz, they have different opinions about the impeachment. Mark Levin called on the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell to declare the House impeachment of Trump null and void because the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi failed to transmit the articles to the Senate. And then we have Alan.
Well, which I would love them to do, but Republicans want their day in court, so I don't think they're going to do it.
Dershowitz, he argued in an op-ed that a failure to send the articles of impeachment to the Senate would rob Trump of his constitutional rights, and this is under Article 1, Section 3 of the Constitution that provides that the Senate shall have the sole power to try all impeachments, and no person shall be convicted without the concurrence of 2/3 of the members present.
So 2/3 of the members have to be present and vote.
And remember, Nancy Pelosi continually talks about the arena. She wants to understand who's going to do what. And they need the time to try to flip some of these individuals. This is why she's delaying. They're also trying to get one of those three cases so they can have some type of crime. Because
remember, this is all about flipping people, extortion, abuse of power, trying to control the Senate scenario. It's not going to work, I don't believe, but that's what they're going to try to do. As corrupt and as crooked as they are, that's what they're trying to do.
Right now they have nothing. Post 3742. Trump gives us a Twitter link to M2 Madness. and it says worth listening to. Let's take a listen to Lindsey Graham.
And how far up the chain did this go? Did President Obama know about the counterintelligence surveillance of the Trump campaign? Did Vice President Biden know? How much information was provided to Susan Rice? I want to know how far up the chain the investigation went. I want to know why so many people could sign a warrant application so flawed. So there's a lot of questions. I want to make sure this never happens again. To the American people, you deserve better than this. Every American should be worried about FISA. And to this impeachment debacle, to my Democratic colleagues, impeachment is a dead cat. Stop.
Interesting and important, because this goes to the abuse of the FISA warrants and the abuse of Congress and the abuse of the Democratic Party and the destruction and the illegality of this, constitutionally speaking.
Introduce the truth about what happened to the public through the Senate investigations and an impeachment trial. What value might exist by attempting to block public testimony hearings? The deep state is trying to stop the patriots from educating the public. Would educating the public through the Senate prior to Barr Durham Huber release be important? Absolutely. Narratives are created and pushed to prevent the public from discovering the truth. Enemy of the people. Now we need to remember.
Now, who's the enemy of the people? The deep state, the Dems that are pushing this, Pelosi, and the media. These are enemies of the people. This is propaganda. This is narrative. This is control. They are indeed enemies of the people.
Remember that each wave builds upon each other. The IG Pfizer report was to educate the people that this was not a mistake, that they did this on purpose. They went through each level, and there were checks on each level. And those FBI individuals, they went around the checks, and they decided that we're going to do this anyhow. The public must be educated about how this all happened, who was involved. They must know about the corruption to make sense of the arrests. The Senate trials would be televised, allowing the people to be educated during the Senate trial. Pelosi is trying to delay the inevitable. Post 3743. Q gives us a Twitter link to GOP leader. It says the FBI broke into President Trump's campaign, spied on him, then tried to cover it up. This is a modern day Watergate. And this is House Representative McCarthy. Take a listen.
Well, if you pause for one moment and you read this IG report by Horowitz, here's the FBI. They broke into President Trump at the time, candidate Trump's campaign, spied on him, and then they covered it up. It is a modern day Watergate. And you've got Democrats who aren't willing to even look into that. That is the area that we should be looking at. It's a modern day coup, the closest this country's ever came to, but the only way you can compare this to is Watergate. They broke into his campaign by bringing people into it. They have been trying to cover it up for the whole time. Now the question rises, just like Watergate. Who knew, when did they know it, and how high did this go up?
Let's move on to post 3740.
This is important because it shows that justice isn't being served. And Pelosi and other individuals here are trying to evade and not use the legal system so this can be exposed properly.
Before Q gives us a meme. This is Nancy Pelosi, Nadler, Schiff, all standing there, and it says, haven't you figured it out yet? It's not about Trump's corruption. It's about making sure you don't find out about their corruption.
It's making sure you don't find out about their corruption. Another cover-up.
And that's exactly what they're doing. Post 3745 is another meme, and this is Obama's treachery, Spygate. Never has a president left office to collude with others to impede the next sitting president of the United States of America until Obama. And there's a picture of Obama, McCabe, Comey, Clapper, and Brennan.
Now, we need to stop here. As far as I'm concerned, this president should be in jail. He should be stripped of his title. He should be stripped of his income. He should be in jail. a true criminal, and those other individuals in this picture should also be in jail. This is serious business. This is serious corruption and treason. This is serious abuse of power, in the least. Serious abuse of power and illegal activity, in the least. I'm going to end it here. I don't know what else he's got in here, but this needs to come out. We need to find how far it went up. I'm sure Obama and these individuals knew. I'm sure they're guilty. And I'm sure there needs to be some legal action taken on these individuals. I don't know to say it any plainer or more clear than that. It's Roger Martin from Billings, Montana, but no one is above the law. And these individuals need to be taken to a just court and tried for their crimes. In Jesus Christ's name, amen.